Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen. And as always, we have a lot to talk about. I'm joined by I Am Jerrell, Die Hard Giants live podcast, Geoff Klafter, author of the daily sports blog, Happily Ever Klafter, Ajay the villain, who's controlling the chat. Like I say, if your comments, he's very stingy with the comments, I've been noticing. We get like 3 or 4 a segment. So you got to come correct with your comments if you want to. If you want to get it shown. How's everybody?
Cool. Great. Happy to be here. Salute to the chat.
All right. Well, we're going to get right into it. We're going to dive into the Knicks 5-game winning streak. And I just want to run off what their offensive and defensive stats have been over these past 5 games. Defensive rating, 7th, and now 13th on the season. Opponent field goal percentage, 8th. Opponent three-point percentage, 21st. But it was 30th. 30th on the season. So, I mean, we can't get everything. Opponent points off turnovers, they're first. Offensive rating, they're first. On the season, they're second. Net rating, they're first. On the season, they're 4th. First in points per game over these past 5 games. Points off turnovers, they're first. Second chance points, they're 5th. Fast break points, they're tied for first. And points in the paint, second, with 66 per game. They've scored 143 points in back-to-back games, marking that's the highest in franchise history for a 2-game stretch. And they've outscored opponents 77-40 on fast breaks over their last 3 games. I forgot where I got those last 2 stats at. If you're watching, forgive me. I'll be better next time. So over the past 5 games, what have you seen? And particularly defensively, is this something sustainable? Right, Ajay? We'll start. Jerrell, we'll start with you.
Okay. I guess this is the week that we, all have a good week. We've been playing well. 5-game winning streak. There should be no arguing over Tibbs or minutes or anything like that tonight. Like everybody
could have been here earlier had he just played 35 minutes a game.
People in the chat should be cool tonight. Now, I mean, we should have a nice, good show. The defense has definitely gotten better. Is it sustainable? I think so. I don't think anything has really changed other than like chemistry type stuff. Like they seem like they're vocal. I can hear, Jalen Brunson yelling sometimes through the TV when I'm watching the game. So I think, they're playing well, like we thought they were going to. It's a season-long thing. It's going to be peaks and valleys. We at the peak right now. Hopefully we won't be in the valley next week and have a bad show next week with people attitudes and stuff. And it is what it is. I think we're at a height right now, but I'm not trying to be too high or too low, whether we win or lose when it comes to the winning streaks or losing streaks this season. I think we're a good team. I do think the defense is sustainable, and I actually think it could get better.
Okay. All right. Anybody particular stand out, or it's just been mostly a team thing?
Bridges. It's been a team thing, but Bridges has definitely been better in the last 5 games than he has prior to that. Like just the point of attack has been a lot better. I don't know what it is. It might be an energy thing. Seem like we've been getting out a lot earlier than we used to. We've been getting slow starts throughout all season, but like recently, is like the energy's gotten up. He's been more tenacious on defense, and he's been playing well.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks pace. I thought I had the Knicks pace on the season, I believe, is 12th, and I'll check what it's been over the last 5 games. But you could see that they're playing faster. They're getting the ball up the court faster. When Cat get a rebound, the next pass is across half court if he can make it. Yep. And that's really helping us. Then Brunson lumbering, not lumbering, but just really trying to dribble the ball up against long defenders. We've been able to get over half court and get into our offense quicker. Geoff, what have you seen, and particularly defensively, and whether or not you think it's sustainable?
What a difference a week makes, huh? That after that Nets game, I think we were all ready to pull our hair out, and then and then apparently a few days off does a body good, because whatever that was during that rest, and Jalen said they had a blackout day where they didn't do anything, and that's like unheard of for Tibbs. And so I thought that did them well. They look re-energized, and just the activity, and how they're able to get steals and then just go the other way with it so quickly. That really has stood out to me, how they really made the Nuggets pay, and the Grizzlies for that matter, because the Grizzlies were handing the ball to us like it was Halloween candy. So it really made a difference to be able to punish them for that. And really, when we had numbers, when we had the attacking, when we were able to go in attack mode, we really punished the opposition for their mistakes. So I think that was great. I think what we all want from the Knicks is consistency. And one of the other things Brunson said was that he didn't like about the season was that it was kind of a roller coaster. And so I think, because our highs have been really high, like this week, and our lows have been like pretty low, I think. And so I think, but the trajectory has always been upward. Like we're always climbing, but it's not like this. It's more like a wave, right? And so if we can keep the waves smaller, like and just be travel that path a little smoother, and make the roughs a little less rough and the smooths a little more smooth, I think we'll all be a little happier. But I'm not sure that that's how the NBA works. I mean, the season's long, it's tough. There are going to be stretches where it's just tough, but you can see that the rest did them, and the attention to details both were had a massive impact on the way that they played.
Yeah, for sure. Ajay?
What was the question? Is it sustainable?
What stood out for you in particular? You could talk about all of it, but particularly defensively, and do you think it's sustainable?
Well, I'm going to start with what stood out for me is, and Jerrell mentioned that, this is the NBA, there's peaks and valleys and, ups and downs. And we're, and I want to point out that even though, like, I think we had a 9-game winning streak earlier on the season, this is only 5 games, but this one feels more special. Do you know why? Because we're beating better teams. Because when we had that 9-game streak, there's a few people, in the chat here. Shout out to some of those people who were saying, we're just beating a bunch of bum teams. But now that 5-game, we're beating good teams. We're beating contenders and so on and so forth. So it feels better. It feels like we're accomplished more. But listen, it's a 5-game winning streak. We went through that already earlier this season. Let's keep it pushing, see if we can get to 9. Now, is it sustainable? I don't know if Geoff or Jerrell mentioned, not only it's sustainable, it's going to get better. It's going to get better because the chemistry is developing. The chemistry is getting better. These guys are they're starting to know each other on the court, where their places and their abilities on the court, not just on offense, but on defense as well. Everybody, like Clyde liked to say, every man hold their own weight, but step up, you know who's your backup, you know where to send them, you know where to steer the guys to. If OG's in the area, they always misjudge the length of his arms, and if he's in the area, he's getting that, he's swatting that ball away. And these guys, they starting to understand that. Same with Deuce McBride. They starting to get it. That chemistry is starting to build. They starting to gel. So it's like, again, it's not just sustainable, but it has the potential of getting even better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just encouraged. I mean, there was a stretch where I felt like this is not going to be our year. Because if you can't, no, I'm just saying, if you can't, I don't care what your offense is. If you got the 17th and 18th ranked defense, I mean, it's possible, but is it probable? Probably not, right? Unless you're just, operating on all cylinders offensively in every playoff game, right? But to see this team move to 13th in defensive rating, to see them over the past 5 games just look more active, helping each other out, hitting their spots, game plan, discipline, particularly against Memphis, right? This was a team coming in, how they play, fast breaks. I think they were top 5 in fast break points. They had 9. That's game plan discipline. You know what you're supposed to do when a team is a fast break team, but are you executing and are you doing it? And against Memphis, they were. And so if we could see more of that, where it's not just OG and Bridges, but everybody, pitching in defensively, this team has the potential to be really good this season. And that's encouraging. I still think there are times when Cat can rotate over and he doesn't. I don't know if that's because he's afraid of picking up a foul or, or what it is. But yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing defensively. What about the right on time? I was about to say, what about the bench? And JJ said, I still think the bench needs to be upgraded to be true title contenders. You know what I haven't done? I haven't looked at the benches of the other title contenders to see, we're so locked into our 4 that comes off the bench. I wonder if the bench of others is that much better. Possible, it's possible. The Knicks bench is ranked 30th in the league on the season with 21.4 points per game. And over this 5-game winning streak is 7 more points. 23rd over this 5-game winning streak, averaging 28.6. So still 23rd. We're encouraged, we're excited, but but maybe it gets better. Like maybe this is just the beginning of what the bench can offer us. Thoughts on the bench? We'll go the other way. Ajay, we'll start with you.
I definitely agree that the bench, like, we need some reinforcements, and we've had that conversation a couple of times throughout the season, and like you really don't know for sure. Like I at some point I feel like we need more scoring off the bench, but sometimes I'm like, no, we need more defense off the bench. So it's like it's a toss up. Yeah, it's a little go back and forth. Like you don't know, like can we? It's not likely you're gonna find a great scorer and a great defensive player in one. So
Right.
yeah, we're gonna have to pick one. I don't know which way we're gonna go. Like it's whatever becomes available. You know what I'm saying? But it's a tough spot to be, because sometimes these guys come off the bench, they play great defense and they can't score. And sometimes they shooting lights out, and then but the defense is like Teflon defense, like a Clyde like to say. So it's But listen, reinforcement in either one of those areas would be welcome.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know who you're giving up to get that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, we're going to talk about trades in the next segment. A shout out to Sharon just joining us. I go back and forth between whether we should trade at all or just stand pat. And right now, I'm in the stand pat camp. We have 2 bad games or something like that. I might switch to the other side. But I know earlier I felt like we need a scorer off the wing, and shout out to JJ. We're going to get to the others' comments as well. He said the defense is solid on the bench. It's the offense. And so, maybe having another offensive player with, Precious, who's a defensive player, Shaman, whose defense has been better than at least I anticipated it would be, Campaign, Miles McBride. Maybe, another offensive player would help. But that offensive player would replace one of those players. Like, I don't believe Tibbs is going 10. But I go back and forth with whether they need an upgrade at all. I think the bench, it's hard to say what comes first. You know, did the starters just blow things open to the point that the bench can get more minutes? Or was Thibodeau intent on giving them more minutes anyway? And, they proved to be up to the task. And so, he followed through and gave them more minutes. And I say that because last night in a game that was close, I think the minutes were back to usual, if I'm not mistaken. And so, which is fine, because my thought on the bench is, if you're playing a really good team and it's close, I'm okay with your starters playing more minutes in that game. I just would like to see Thibodeau in games where that's not the case, use the bench more, or in games in which it's a blowout, use the bench more. And I think that's what we saw those past two games. So I'm keeping an eye on it and just kind of seeing if that's going to be the case going forward. Jerrell, or add Geoff, and then Jerrell, any comments on what you're seeing from the bench over this past 5 games and what you would like to see going forward?
I think we have to keep the bench in context. That what I mean by that is, think about all the injury. Like, our starting lineup, knock on all the wood, has been extraordinarily healthy. All of our injuries have come via the bench. And so, for whatever reason, we were playing lineups with only 3 reserves and 2 of the starters were still in the game. Well, those starters are probably going to soak up most of the scoring during those minutes because they're starters. And so you're not going to see a lot of scoring from the bench. Whereas now, the last 5 games, he's had a 9-man rotation that he's been pretty good at sticking with. And so you're seeing a lot more of those bench guys playing together and stepping up. I mean, you saw, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the fourth quarter of the Denver game, Cat and Brunson were both on the bench to start the fourth quarter, I believe.
They were.
And I think it was Deuce who hit 5 points in a row when it was a 2-point game. Mm-hmm. And then Campaign had a big shot in there too. So, I think that surprised me in a good way. So I think that with the guys who are on the bench and healthy now, there's a level of trust that's there. And I don't know if it's just because he's been around some of these players more, or if it's just that he's got more healthy bodies, that whatever the reason may be. But I think it makes a huge difference. I understand your chicken and egg argument, but I also think that you saw Jalen Brunson able to take over that game in the fourth quarter because he was well rested. And then he was I think he had 4 assists on 4 straight possessions or something like that really just kind of put that baby to bed. And so I think it's easier to do that when your minutes load isn't as high. And with Towns, he was in foul trouble, so I think he only played 30 minutes. He played fewer minutes than the Joker, who sat almost the entire first half. I don't think the Joker came out of the game in the second half. But so I think the bench is doing better, but I agree with JJ. I would like to have one more trustworthy body that we could rely on there. Maybe that's being greedy, but I would like to see it.
And do you have any preference for whether that's an offensive guy or a defensive guy?
I don't. I really just want it to be a versatile wing, or a 4-5 or a 3-4, somebody who gives you dynamism, not someone who's just a one position guy, but someone who can take multiple spots in the lineup, and that way you can play him. Like, if Cat's in foul trouble, you can have he and Achua kind of take over more of the load. Or if OG struggling, maybe he can fill in there. Or if McCall's having a rough night, maybe he can. And I know that's a lot to ask, but I would like wing versatility would be my thing, but I could understand a 4-5 who actually plays minutes would make sense to me too.
Okay. All right. Jerrell, what have you seen from the bench? What would you like to see?
I definitely agree with that, with the athletic wing. I think we actually do need an upgrade when it comes to that. Do I actually think we're going to do it? I'm not sure. Or should we do it? I don't know. I don't want to just say we should just give up Mitch even though like I would like him to be available, of course, but if he's not going to be available, like we almost don't have a choice. But yeah, athletic wing would be my answer. That's what I would definitely want, just for all the points that Geoff said with the versatility, whether it's on offense or defense. We just need somebody at that position, period. And I don't know. I think it all depends on what you're willing to give up and who the target is. Like, are you willing to give up Deuce? I'm pretty sure the most of the fan base will, wouldn't mind giving up like Campaign or Shaman or somebody like that because they're new to the team. But giving up Mitch and or Deuce is going to get us the upgrade. I don't think anybody else off the bench is going to get us one.
Yeah, I mean, what I don't see though, when you're talking about who's out there, I don't really see that athletic wing that that we're talking about, and we'll talk about Boucher. I hope I'm saying his name right, from Toronto, who's been connected with the Knicks and a few other teams. Is he that switchable wing? I know they've played him at center and at power forward. Is he a three? Like, can he play the three position? So we'll talk about that, a little later. Before we even we get to that, given how the team has played up to this point, do we need Mitchell Robinson? Not will he make us better, because I think he will. I know he will. But do you feel like that there's a press now to bring Mitchell Robinson back more than there was a press maybe a few weeks ago, when defensively we were a hot mess? Geoff, we'll start with you. And Ajay, did you spoke on the bench, right?
Yeah, you went
Yes.
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, shout out to Staffadon, the president of the Mitchell Robinson fan club. Wherever you at, brother, I hope you're well. But as vice president, I always like to see Mitch in the lineup. But to me, Mitch is a luxury at this point. I think you have to consider him just gravy. If he comes back and he performs, great. But I don't think you can factor him into the Knicks equation as a definite variable, because he's just not reliable at this point. So I think from a planning standpoint, you have to plan on he's not going to be there for us. And then if he is there for us, then that's just money in the bank. That's just extra. I think that's how you have to go about it. And if you have an opportunity that makes sense, Chris Boucher is just a contract that's similar, that a deal that works, 1 for 1, and that's a guy that's available and he's healthy and he can provide, 15 minutes of court time that could be valuable to this team, moving forward. I've said for a long time that I thought Robinson's days as a Knick were numbered. I mean, I've been saying that since over a year ago, just because the front office didn't draft him. He's not, and everybody who's not one of their guys has eventually been shown the door. And so, and even some of the guys who were their guys, like Dante DiVincenzo, were shown the door. So I don't think they're disloyal, but I don't think that there's anything that's tying them to Mitchell Robinson as a player. And if you're looking at it from a grand scheme of things, if you want to make an improvement to the roster, that's the salary slot that's really going to get it done. I mean, we can't do anything without giving away one of our big starting five with anything larger than that. So, I mean, it just is putting the puzzle pieces together that if you are going to do something, that's the avenue that you're going to take. There aren't really any other roads to drive down.
Yeah, because like we said, Precious is just $6 million. Are you going to get it? First of all, I mean, we're talking. Well, I guess we're not talking in a vacuum, right? Because Boucher's name is out there, Valanciunas' name is out there, Nurkic's name is out there, and whoever is out, and those are players who I think move the needle. They're not players that I would be banging the table for, but I think that they would, help the team. And You know, Precious is what, $6 million. You know, so you would have to, you know, if you're not going to use Mitchell Robinson, now you're doubling, you're losing 2 and 3 salaries, and we need the depth, you know. And personally, I'm not willing to give up any of the rookies. I was watching Knick Film School and Ian Begley today, and he said he thinks the Knicks are high on the rookies. Yeah, I'm not trading any of the rookies. I'm just not. I just feel like, I mean, unless we're talking about, I don't even know. I don't even know. But for me, the bar is pretty high to trade the rookies. I like the fact that they're on rookie contracts, and I think their ceilings are decent, all 4 of them. You know, so I would at least want to see them. I think they could be rotation pieces in another year or two. You know, instead of Shaman, instead of Payne, they could be. You know, if we do trade Mitchell Robinson in the offseason, Huck Porty in his second or third year can definitely be part of the rotation. So I'm really, and we haven't even seen McCullough, who Jerrell is high on. I don't want to trade any of the rookies. That's just where I am. I mean, who we getting? We getting Kessler, Sexton, and somebody. Perhaps I'll think about it. But
I was gonna ask you that.
You were, okay.
Because like we say that because I agree with you, but we say that until we see who the target is or was that we didn't get because we didn't want to give up the rookies.
That's true. That's true.
So we'll see.
Yeah. It would have to be a needle move. I'm really high on them. I know I don't. When it comes to this season as rookies, I'm like, I'm not pressed about them being part of the rotation, but I'm really high on them going forward.
But with the new CBA, those contracts are invaluable. So if you get guys who are in your system for a long time and then over time grow, and like Deuce did, right? And then they're super valuable. They're on really low contracts. That's how you're going to have to fill out the end of your bench in the modern CBA. In fact, early second round picks are more valuable than late first round picks nowadays, which is crazy, but it's true.
Right, because of the non-guaranteed salary. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in
Not just the
hindsight,
non-guaranteed salary, there's also the second round exception.
Right.
Where they can sign for a very small amount and it doesn't count against your cap. So there's multiple reasons why those second round picks are becoming more valuable than non-lottery picks.
Yeah, for sure. And in hindsight, just given how this front office is just a crack front office, in my opinion, as much as we complained about Obi Toppin going for those 2 second-round picks, that could have been just looking ahead to the salary cap and not really wanting to take on salary.
Think about this. We own that Washington first rounder that's so heavily protected, probably going to convey into 2 early second rounders, which may in effect be better than the 1 first rounder. And it may not be, like, if we're going to make a trade, we're probably sending pick off, but it's an interesting, and that may just be coincidence, but I think that it's interesting that those two early second rounders could end up proving very valuable to a contending team.
Yeah. I'm not sure who I said would go next, but anybody want to comment on what's been said so far?
First of all, who complained about Obi Toppin for the 2 second round picks?
You
I
did.
don't know. This guy.
Did somebody?
You did, sir.
I'm still complaining, them, and I still feel we could have got more for Obi Toppin. Thank you very much.
I think you're probably right, Ajay. You're probably right. I could have got a little bit extra for that, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
But at the expense of the salary cap, though. Perhaps.
No, if you want to get more picks,
Oh,
you could have gotten more picks. You didn't have to.
I'm sure they tried.
more.
I'm sure if they weren't, here's a first round pick. Oh, no. Give me a second. I'm sure they tried. They just couldn't find anybody.
Shoot.
Anything else? Oh, that's what we were talking about. Whether or not we needed Mitch for this team to basically reach their ceiling, and Geoff said he sees Mitch as gravy. Jerrell, what's your thoughts, and then Ajay, your thoughts?
I agree with that because I don't necessarily consider ourselves like the front runners to win the championship this year anyway. If I did think that way, then I definitely would think Mitchell Robinson will be, like the finishing piece to our puzzle, just like Geoff said. But I don't think we're at that juncture of this rebuild anyway. So I don't know. I don't expect us to make a move this year. And if we do make a move, I don't know if it's going to be Mitch. I think, like you said, Mitch will be dealt in the offseason if he's going to be dealt at all.
Yeah. Ajay, what's your thoughts on it?
I also agree that he's gravy. He unlike Jerrell. I mean, Jerrell, we're not front runners, but we're contenders, man. We right up there with the other teams. We're not. I mean, would you look at Boston or Cleveland and say it's impossible for us to beat them? I don't know. It could go either way. If we,
No.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, we could go toe to toe with those two teams. So it could go either way. But yeah. In terms of trade, I don't know, man. Listen. We're all emotionally attached to Mitchell Robinson. And he's like the only Knick left from whenever. Like the only leftover from
The sorry days.
Yeah, from the sorry days. And he's still around. So that means he's good. Like, because otherwise he would have been gone. There are other guys who will probably has been more available and healthier than him that have been let go, but he's still around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he would definitely help. He would definitely help, especially with a coach like Tom Thibodeau, who values rim protection. So Mitchell Robinson would have a place in this on this team. Do you know what I'm saying? So if he could come in healthy and he could actually play, he's gonna have a spot on this team.
Do you think his role, given how the Knicks offense has changed a little bit, you think his role would still be the same? 20, if he's healthy, 26 minutes a game.
No,
similar.
I don't think so, because our style has changed. Even though Tibbs wants to be the same old Tibbs, but he doesn't have the roster to be that same old guy. So the style has changed. Like we're like an explosive offensive team. We're not grind down defense team anymore. So I mean, he's gonna help, as a backup in case somebody on the wing gets beat off the dribble. But it's not going to be the same role, simply because the team style has changed. It's a different team. He's going to help, but he's not going to be anchoring the defense like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. Geoff, Jerrell, your thoughts on that? His role would be the same if he is healthy.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be very, very interesting what Tibbs do with Mitch when he comes back, because I don't think he's obviously not going to play that many minutes. I don't think he's going to play the minutes that he did before he got hurt, especially not when he first comes back. So yeah, it would be intriguing, because who minutes do he take place? Like all of a sudden Precious don't play anymore, or I mean, somebody has to stop. I don't think Tibbs is going to go to a 10-man rotation.
Right.
So somebody is not going to play. So it's either going to be, for me, it's either going to be Precious or Shamet. It'll probably be Shamet, but yeah, I will have to see how Mitch, Precious,
how
that's going to work.
Yeah, offensively. But yeah. I mean, when we're forecasting this team, we're definitely basing it on these last 5 games and it continuing, right, this trajectory, particularly defensively. So if this is the defense going forward, then I agree that Mitchell Robinson is gravy. right? I know there's been some in the chat who, would want a Mitchell Robinson in case we match up with Cleveland, Twin Towers. But I honestly think Precious could play Mobley. I mean, Mobley is taller than him, but in terms of lateral quickness and being able to play him out in space, I think a Towns and Precious matchup against those two guys would be more advantageous than Mitch and Towns with Towns playing Mobley out in space. Though Towns has shown that he can move his feet, so I'm not I'm not taking a lot from him. But if this is what our defense is going to be, somewhere between 8th and 13th for the rest of the season, can Mitch add to that? If he was healthy, absolutely he could add to that. But I wouldn't think it would be an absolute necessity. And I don't think he'll be a starter when he returns. I do think he'll play if 15, 18 minutes would be great. If that is the case. And I agree with Geoff. I don't think the Knicks commit to Mitchell Robinson long term. He's on an expiring contract next season. And unless he's going to take a absolute bargain basement team friendly deal, I don't see the Knicks assigning him to a market what is market value given the injury, right? I don't see the Knicks signing him to a $14-15 million a year contract. I could be wrong, but I don't see that. Anything else before on this segment before we get to the comments? Geoff, Ajay,
I agree with you. I don't see Mitch as more than a 15-minute per game guy unless you just have a matchup that you really need it for. But I just want to point out that Cat had the primary responsibility on Jokic the other night, and Jokic had his worst game of the season, 17, 6, and 6. And I know that he was in foul trouble for a little bit of that, but even after that, I think he needed like 15 or 16 shots to get his 17 points, something like that. So he did a really good job on the Joker, just like he did when they won Game 7 against them last year when he was in Minnesota and they beat Denver. So I think when it's that type of big, like the more lumbering, slow centers, I think that Cat can hold his own. So there's not as much of a need for Mitch, but at the same time, it gives you flexibility because what did we see? We saw that Cat got in foul trouble and he only played 30 minutes. So you're able to have that 18 minutes where you have that a level of rim protection that nobody else on the roster provides. Like that, I think that's a game changer if he has to play with our starting wings or with Josh Hart or guys like that, who I think you can really become a lockdown second unit with that configuration. So
yeah.
But again, gravy.
Yeah, for sure. We will talk about the All-Star reserves. Shout out to Cleveland. They have 3.
Best record in the NBA.
Right
in the East at any rate.
All right, let's get to the chat before we move on to the trade segment of the show.
All right, so it's a little bit all over the place because we talked about a couple of things.
Fine.
So shout out to JJ says, defense is solid. On the bench, it's the offense. Also, part 2, bench been better lately. Part 3, I still think the bench needs to be upgraded to be true title contenders.
Yeah, and I think he also said that he thought the when I said they were averaging 7 more points a game, 28.6, that's pretty much skewed because of the blowouts and the extra time they've been getting, and some of that scoring had been in garbage time. So shout out to JJ.
Shout out to JJ, always rocking with us.
Being astute.
Yeah, Fitzroy Lewis says, no, we should have moved and trade Mitchell Robinson. Why the Knicks keep holding on to this man? He never stay healthy and will not. Please move on from this guy. He is not going to make the Knicks better. Any comment? Can't say he's wrong, but can't say I agree with that either. I like Mitch. Damn it.
Hey, I could go either way.
I could go either way.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could go
Yeah,
either way.
right.
I mean, I think he would. I think he can make the Knicks better depending on how he's used. 15 minutes a game, maybe more depending on the matchup.
Queen, you know, Tom Thibodeau's gonna OD on Mitch. He's not gonna hold back and play him 10 minutes. He's not gonna do that.
You mean when you say how he's used, you mean just minutes wise, or how he's actually being used on the court?
Well, I don't see how you can really, like, minutes wise, one, and two, don't mess up the offense by starting him next to Cat.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah, by starting him next to Cat. Not
That's
that
why I
they
asked you.
can play together at any point during the game, have possessions.
Yeah, they
together.
can.
That's not what I mean. But I mean, like, he's the starting center for 26 minutes, and Cat is the 4 for those 26 minutes, and Cat gets maybe, I don't know, 10 to 18 minutes, whatever is left at center. I'm not really down for that. Yeah.
Shout out to Sherwin, says Mitch will be back for the Boston February 8th game.
Has he started? I mean, that's a week. That's like 9 games away. Has he started running?
Don't nobody know.
Well, Sherwin must know something we don't. He's given a date.
Well,
Because
he's given us more than that, because February 6th is the trade deadline. So he's basically telling you that Mitch is staying put.
Yeah.
And if I'm the Knicks, I'm not bringing him back for that game. I might as well hold off and wait till after the All-Star break.
That is after. Oh no, it's not. No, it's
not
after.
after.
Break. That's after the trade deadline.
Yeah.
It just might make more sense to hold on to him and move him in the offseason, because you're talking about more options. I think there'll be more players available, and there'll be more flexibility to do other things. So I think I think there's a lot to be said for, unless there's just one player who's just a can't miss, you know what I mean? Somebody they feel like they have to have for whatever reason, probably makes more sense to hold on to him and deal him in the offseason.
Okay. Sherwin said that Tibbs said, oh wait, here it is, that Mitch is running and jumping. Wow. Okay. I didn't hear that. I read an article, was it today, where they said that we might be looking closer to the middle of February. But if he's running and jumping, then hey, good. It's great.
Tibbs probably don't know either. Tibbs just be talking.
He's making up stuff.
Good,
Shout out to Old Head, says, I don't think the Knicks are pressed to trade Mitch. I don't think any GM will trade for him. We don't even know if he can run up and down the floor. Well, according to Sharon, he's running, he's jumping and running. So hopefully
he just can't take any contact. So what else is new, right?
Or play basketball, or actually play basketball. He still can't do none of that yet.
That sucks, man. You remember, like, he got Joel Embiid hurt him.
Yep.
Injured him. So
You're actually
Right.
Hey, he's on that James hit list.
You gotta let that go, bro.
He still got Jaime Jaquez Jr. on there. He got Bam Adebayo.
It's almost February. The whole next season. You gotta let that go, man. It's over.
No, but it that was messed up though. Like, I mean, in Embiid, so it's like you don't want to be happy for the guy getting hurt, but I'm kind of happy he hurt too. Like,
what?
Yeah, man. Like, karma, man. Like, you hurt my guy. Like, now you can't play either.
Come on, man. We up here wishing injuries on.
So
no, I'm not wishing injuries. I'm just.
I'm happy. My bad.
I'm just not. Yeah, I'm like you.
My bad.
I find I'm not wishing.
You're right.
He already injured.
You're right. You did not wish it. You're just happy that he is. That's cool.
I didn't.
He's not gonna complain about it neither.
Yeah, you're not gonna complain about
it. I didn't publicly wish that he wished.
In the group chat, it's a completely different story, though.
Shout out to Silk Sutton who said it was Mitch on his Instagram page who said he's returning against Boston.
Wait, hold on. Mitch said that for real? Wow. Okay.
I mean, that may be what he would like to. Let's see what the medical staff says.
So is that him saying that he's staying? That's him saying he's staying then, if that's the case. We'll see.
All right. Shout out to Master J3 says, I think Chris Boucher fits perfect with our roster. Shaquan backs up that. Shaquan says, I love Boucher, man. He'd be great with the Knicks. Boucher got a lot of fans here.
Yeah. Steph, he definitely can play the 3 too. He played the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, he played 3, 4, and the 5.
Boucher?
Wow. Yeah.
I think his slim size make him able to play the 3. Like he's got no speed there.
He's like small ball 5. He's not a real 5. He's not a real 5.
Sherwin again says, I'm keeping Precious at the 5 over Boucher.
Right. But I wouldn't play Boucher at the 5 either. But if he could be a 3-4, I like it. Yeah, old head, I'm with you. He said, can he play the 3? I'm with you.
Cardiac Knicks says Precious has already established himself as a valuable part of a lot of Precious fans here tonight, Queen.
Yeah. You was in here early.
I didn't purposely highlight. Did you highlight those? Because I don't know who highlight them. all those Precious comments.
Mm-hmm.
we need a wing just as badly as we need a backup center.
We talked about that earlier, earlier in the year.
Yeah. Listen, remember the comments all over the place because we touched up on a lot earlier. So that's when we were talking about that. What else? Kevin Bergen says Mitch will come off the bench, in my opinion. Absolutely, he's not starting. With Tibbs, you don't know, but I'm saying, I think that's what we all seeing. If Mitch comes back, I think that's what they're talking about in the chat. Building Block, shout out to Building Block, says Shamet is the odd man out. I don't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree because Tibbs he's not going 10 man. We know that. Shamet will, and that's another thing, Queen. A lot of people are what's his name? TJ Warren. They want him to come up from the G League. Where's he gonna play? It would be Shamet, right? So somebody's got to come off because he's not, Yeah.
It would be Shamet. I mean, you need Cam. I believe you need Cam at the 1. I mean, you could argue that Cam would come out of the rotation and you could move McBride to 1, but I wouldn't do that. I would keep Cam where he is, McBride at the 2, and TJ Warren, he's gonna have to prove himself too. Just because he's lighting it up in the G League doesn't mean he's gonna automatically come in and get a rotation spot.
He's got to beat that spot out. He's got to take it from Shamet pretty much.
Yeah.
Shout out to East Blue Juice says Mitch needs to be saved for the playoffs. That's kind of tough because you can't just save him and then dust him off for the playoffs. He's got to get some games under his legs in order for him to be effective for the playoffs. So that's kind of a toughie there. Shout out to Deuce's grandpa. Grandpa. Wiz BKLA says Mitch is gravy with a biscuit.
Yeah, he said that on a phone call last night. Before we even played, not last night, Tuesday, we did the pop-up show. Yeah. Even before last night's game.
Yeah. JJ says, I'm not counting on Mitch. I'm sorry, he's just too unreliable. Queen, I know you mentioned we're going to be talking about this later.
Yes. We're going to talk about it next. We'll squeeze it in, and we'll end with the trades. We'll squeeze it. Or it's up to you guys. Do you want to do the trades first and do the All-Star stuff last?
Either one.
Whatever you want to do.
Let me see. J Boogie. Shout out to J Boogie.
Shout out to J Boogie.
What's up, my family? Where is Jay? Why are you not on here with us, man? For a couple of minutes. The Knicks are shopping and they will make another move before the deadline. So salute, 3 capital S's.
And yes, Mitch is gone. Wow.
Cardio Mitch.
Because you got to think about Mitch's personality too. He could have been saying that just trolling, and he know he leaving.
Somebody in the chat said, "What Boston game? We played them in April too."
That's funny. Yeah, but Mitch could be trolling, man. That's his personality too.
Yeah.
For sure.
See, there's another. All right. Hey, shout out to DX Relish.
Yo, shout out DX Relish.
Relish.
Die hard.
We on the
Die hard.
5-game winning streak. He come in here talk about they 4-game winning
They
streak.
got the 4-game winning streak. But listen,
love it.
that's good though. They got some pretty impressive wins in the last couple of
Yep,
games.
Maxi balling.
Maxi's ball. Yeah, because both Paul George and Embiid are out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I don't know. Do we want to do trades or we want to talk about the?
Thank you, Sherman, for the article. We will. It was Tibbs talking about Mitch. He's running and jumping, but you got to run, you got to jump, you got to take contact. You know.
Listen, I know we're not talking. See, there's a comment here, but I think it was like we're not talking about the game, so I'll save that. Should I save that for later?
It's fine.
Sherwin says, "I'm sorry. I don't think we stand a chance against Houston. We lacked the athletes to play with Houston at the 1, 2, and 3." You know what? I felt the same way about Memphis. Do you remember? Like I was like, Memphis is a terrible matchup for us because there's like so good in the backcourt, and then on the front court they have a lot of size. They have, I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing the 4. You know, but
Right.
I thought it was a terrible matchup for us, but they came in here. We put the spank that we spanked pretty good. So I don't know. Like Houston's looking good. Like it looks like a bad matchup, but you don't know until we hit the floor, man. So
Yeah.
I don't disagree with this, but there's no telling what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say we don't stand a chance because I felt like, you know, I didn't say we didn't stand a chance against Memphis, but it seemed like a tough matchup for us.
It did, but even statistically, like when you look at where they were ranked, it was like, oh my goodness. And the Knicks waxed that ass. So
yeah, it didn't seem particularly difficult either. That
right.
game, it's like, you know, it's like those guys, they hardly broke a sweat. It's like,
Yeah.
so,
It's just hard to tell by
can't tell.
that. And Sherwin, and we got a few others. You know, the Knicks got to prove it to them. Like Sherwin said, we're not going to win 40 games, right? Sherwin, didn't you say we're not going to win more than 40 games when the season started? And the Knicks are not going to do this, and they just keep proving us wrong. So let's see. I think this will be the next test for the Knicks.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the game actually, but I'm not going to overlook the Lakers Saturday.
Oh shit! I already forgot who was playing them.
Don't overlook the Lakers, man.
Don't ever overlook the Lakers.
Yeah, one game at a time.
And LeBron's gonna be pumped and ready. AD is out, you know, but he might come back. You know how these miraculous healing.
Yeah, I know.
It's in the Garden too.
Broken leg the game before they played. They were available for the Knicks, and then they out 6 months.
They snatching the cast off and running off into the Garden floor. Yeah, happens all the time.
Oh God.
So yeah, All-Star. Oh wait, hold on.
Paris Duggan will be our segue into it.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to Paris Duggan. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Trae Young, Maxey, Booker, Sabonis, Jalen Johnson, Kyrie all got snubbed from the All-Star game.
I mean, listen, you could say they got snubbed, but who are you taking out? When you look at the list of people that's there, let me see if I could do a screen.
Yeah, I think I'm not saying this about Paris. I'm just talking about people in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think you snubbed really generously when it comes to the All-Star game.
You think so?
Yeah, because a lot of times it's not that they got snubbed, and just because you didn't make the All-Star team, that didn't mean you didn't deserve it.
Right.
Like, there's only a certain amount of spots that could be taken up. So,
right, exactly. So in the East, who would Paris Duggar, let us know, who would you take off this team to put in Trae Young? Damon Lillard, Darius Garland, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Hero, Evan Mobley, Pascal Siakam. Maybe Hero?
I was about to say
Hero's
maybe
he's
Hero.
having a really good individual.
Or Dame.
Milwaukee's in fourth place.
Nah, they're in
It
fourth
sounds
place.
to me that they're rewarding the top 3-4 teams in the league, because all of those have 2, except for Cade and Tyler Hero. Like, those are the only 2 that's based on individual performance.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's a head scratcher to me. There's a lot of players. I would put Josh Hart in there before Tyler Hero.
If somebody get injured, I think they're gonna put Josh Hart in there.
Yeah, that's fair. X Production said that he would take Pascal out. DX Relish, of course, said Maxey should be in over.
He thinks
Hero.
Maxey should be in over Brunson, though. That's what DX Relish really meant to say.
Yeah, I mean that's that's fair. I will say this: I have Tyler Hero on my fantasy team. He's balling. He's balling, and that team, I think, is doing better than the 76ers. I'm pretty sure it's doing better than the 76ers. But yeah.
Well, winning matters. LaMelo Ball is having a fantastic season in Charlotte.
I was about to say, if anybody was snubbed, this LaMelo Ball. If you look at his numbers, he averaged like 28, 7, and 5.
Yeah, but how many games has he played?
I don't know, but he hasn't been injured like he usually be.
Like he usually is.
I think he got a little over 30 games. I think
So?
maybe high 20s, early like.
Every time I turn around, he out.
No, I think he played. I think he played 30 games. I think I didn't look it up. So
yeah.
I
mean, Hero could be. I want to go back to see who else in the East. Trae Young and Maxey, Jalen Johnson too.
He's hurt.
He's
though.
hurt, so it doesn't matter.
But but he just got hurt though. He could have still been voted on. It would just happen this morning.
I would rather see Maxey get the nod than Jalen, just because he is hurt. Like, don't give it to a player who can't play anyway. That's
But whoa. If they deserve it, they deserve it. You just do an injury replacement. I mean, Jalen Johnson is playing on more of a winning team than Maxey is.
Just like Randall last season.
Right, because that means something to them to be voted in an all-star. Like, Randall got voted an all-star. He couldn't play, but he got voted in. I'm sure that meant something to him.
I think Trae over Dame. I mean, Damian Lillard's not. He's not having an all-star. I mean, he's
not. He's not. And Milwaukee is in 4th place, so maybe that's what, why coaches, because this is coaches. The reserves are picked by the coaches. No 50% here, 25% here, 100% coaches. And they chose Dame. I guess Dame and Tyler, because Cade Cunningham definitely does. I think deserve to be there.
Queen, I got a quick thing here. Shout out to Shaquan, man. That's what I'm talking about. Josh Hart got snubbed. I don't give a damn about no damn Kyrie getting snubbed. That's not my problem. Josh Hart got snubbed. That's what bothers me right now. Kyrie Irving, I don't care about that.
But Kyrie's in the West anyway.
He's not even the same conference, man.
No, I know, but that's one of the complaints. Like, I don't care about them other players. Josh Hart got snubbed. That's my problem right now.
So you think the Knicks should have got 3?
Why not? And if somebody could make it, throw Mikal Bridges in there.
So for a 4th one.
Boston only got 2. We probably should only get 2.
Yeah, Boston got 2.
Man, Ajay, if you don't put another comment up, man.
Yeah. Garland, Mobley. I mean, Cleveland got 3, and I think they deserve it.
Yeah.
Garland, Mobley, and if you're in 1st place, you're getting 3. That seems to be how it's been going. As of late. And in the Western Conference, I see you, Boogie. In the Western Conference, let me see. Booker, Sabonis, Kyrie over who in that Western Conference reserve would you have taken them over?
Booker deserves to be an all-star.
Over who?
Over.
I don't know over who, but he's
Wait, it
really,
got to be over.
well, yeah, I don't know.
But you could. That's what I'm saying
Over-
when it comes
over-
to the whole snub thing.
No,
Like
over.
when you say
listen,
snub, that means he needs to be replaced by
I
somebody.
don't know. Is Steph Curry really having an all-star season?
Man, what?
He's voted
Yeah.
in, but like
Somebody else, man. Pick somebody else.
I
It
don't
can't
know.
be
I
Steph
like Sabonis a lot.
I
I
like
would
Sabonis.
take Sabonis over Williams from OKC. I get that the Thunder are playing out of this world, but
Maybe over Sengun.
Sengun's
No.
balling, man. Sengun is balling.
But they're both
Houston is in
balling.
the third place. They only got one All-Star. I think they deserve one. They in second place in the West, if I'm not
Houston,
mistaken.
yeah.
Houston. I mean, and they only got one All-Star. OKC is first still. I think they deserve two. It's not all Shea that has them in first place. So I think they deserve two. If you want to talk about Harden for the Clippers, if you want to talk about, Victor Wembanyama, I mean, San Antonio is not doing great, but Victor's balling. Jaren Jackson, they're in third place. So, they got one. Where's the clip joint? I mean, what's with Harden but they're in like fourth or fifth?
What do you mean? What's up with them?
I mean, in terms of where their standings, let me see.
Oh.
In the Western Conference.
Hold on.
The Clippers are sixth.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess part of that is because the Claw Leonard hasn't really played all year, so it's pretty much been the Harden Powell show out there. I don't know. I think I'd rather see Norman Powell in there than
For
James
real.
Harden, just because he
For
hasn't been there before. But
He's having a great
they
season.
didn't ask me.
Wow.
Yes, but they in six, but they only one game behind. Like they can be in four tomorrow.
Right.
Like they're only one game behind.
Yeah. And Phoenix is in ninth place. You get one All-Star. You in ninth place, you get one All-Star.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Devin Booker not making it this year. That doesn't mean he won't ever make it again. I just think that this year, with how that team's performed, I don't have a problem with Booker not making the list. And Booker's a fantastic player. But look, every year the NBA's got a ton of good players, and it's only, there's a cut line. So, it's kind of like when you're picking the final teams for the NCAA tournament, somebody's got to get left out. That's just the way it is. So, I think you can make arguments for all of these players that didn't make it, but I think you can make arguments for all of the players that did also.
Yeah, I mean, Sacramento, I think it comes down to some coaches will, winning is the deciding factor. And maybe for some coaches is if you're having a great individual season, regardless of where your team is, you get in. Detroit is in 8th place, but Cade Cunningham got in. Dallas is in 8th place in the West. They have no All-Stars. Phoenix has one. Sacramento is in 10th place.
San Antonio in 12th.
San Antonio is in 12th, but maybe they're saying Victor's just having one of those, really.
Victor's incredible, though. I have no problem with Wembanyama making the All-Star team. If you've gotten to watch any San Antonio this year, and my son, who's in the chat tonight for a little while, he's a huge Spurs fan, and Wembanyama's a real deal, y'all. He deserves to be there. He doesn't have much around him, and he's got that team playing scrappy, although they're struggling of late.
20 and 20. Well, I mean, if you can make the case for him, then can't you make the case for Sabonis?
Sure. Absolutely.
The Lakers get 2. They're in 5th place. Memphis only gets 1. Houston gets 1. OKC gets 2. Wow. The West coach is doing something different. The Knicks, the East Coast, they going by winning. The best teams getting 2 or 3. And maybe 1 or 2 individual performances. Orlando has no All-Stars. I mean, Ben Carroll's
all been hurt, though, at one point or other.
That's what I was about to say.
Paolo missed a bunch of games. Wagner missed a bunch of games.
Yeah. So Cleveland is in 1st place. They got 3. Boston in 2nd place. They got 2. New York and Milwaukee, 3rd and 4th place, they got 2. Indiana's in 5th place, they got 1. Miami's in 7th place, they got 1. Detroit is in 8th place, they got 1.
Yep.
Luke, I guess Luke didn't make it because of his injury, or he had to be one of the top vote getters, right?
Yeah, he was hurt.
I know, but I'm saying, but in terms of votes, like he was up there.
He might have been up there in terms of fan voting, but again, that's just 50%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I'm interested now in Tyler Hero's stat. Like, why? What's going on with? Okay, so he's averaging 24 points, 5.4 assists, 5.6 rebounds, shooting 86% from the free throw line, 47% from the field goal, 40% from the 3-point. I mean, so his splits is 47.4, 40.0, and 86.6.
Woo.
24 points a game. Again, 5.6 rebounds, 5.4 assists.
See, has them to 500 without Jimmy Butler with all that nonsense going on. That's a pretty good case.
To me, that's the only person that would like that Trae Young can leapfrog if he was going to be on there. And Atlanta's on like a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Keep Trae out of the All-Star game. I'm good with that. Like forever. Keep that little troll away from my All-Star game.
He started hating like AJ. I can't do that.
But listen, Trae Young, I'm gonna look up his stats. This is the 2nd year he didn't make it, and his stats, like you're not worried about
the league in assists probably because he always does, but he feels like an empty stat getter to me though.
I don't know about that, but I'm gonna. Where is he this year? Okay, this is Trae. 22.7 points per game, 11.4 assists, 3.3 rebounds, 1.3 steals, and on splits of just 40% from the field. Like he just as well as he shoots the 3 and how dynamic and hot he can get, he's just never been a really efficient shooter. 40.2% from the field, only 34.2% from 3. All right, Trae. And 85.6% from the free throw line. So he hasn't been super efficient. Maybe they held that against him, that he wasn't efficient. And they're in ninth place.
Hey, man, Steph, you silly. Yeah. That caught me off guard. Like you wanted to quit while you was reading it.
Yeah, he hasn't been the most efficient, and then they're in ninth place. All right, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
We'll do one more. I like Maxey too.
Oh, Maxey been balling.
Maxey is
Relish. This one's for you, Relish.
In this little shit show, what's going on in Philadelphia with all of the injuries. And we said this coming in. You got Embiid, and then you bring in Paul George, who has injury history. But anyway, Maxey is doing his thing, trying to keep the team afloat unsuccessfully. 27 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 6 assists, almost 2 steals a game, 1.9 steals a game. Like that's impressive. He's also not very efficient this season. 43.8%. Wow. All right. 43.8% from the field, 33.7% from 3, and 87% from the free throw line. So kind of with Trae in terms of that, not being very efficient, the counting stats are good, and then your team not really performing well. That might have been it.
So, while Philly out there picking up all the injury-prone play, they might as well swing by and pick up Zion.
Philly is in 11th place right now. They have won 4. They're 19 and 27, so they're still 8 games under 500.
They knocking on the door though. They're going to pass the Bulls here in a couple games. That team is that team is dangerous. Don't let the injury fool you. That team is dangerous. Like if they just get to the play-in tournament, they can be a problem for somebody.
I think if they're healthy,
Right.
Like right now, they're winning these games without George and Embiid. If they go into the playoffs like that, barbecue chicken. But if they're healthy, yes, absolutely, I would agree with that. All right. Anything else on the All-Star team? Anything in the chat on the All-Star team before we transition?
There's a super chat, isn't there?
There is a super chat from Parrish Duggar. Thank you, Parrish. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Murray Sabonis over KD and Harden.
Did deserve
And
it.
Harden did deserve it.
And Harden did deserve. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of comments about who's getting in, who's Knicks 100 at GM says Lakers getting 2 is outrageous. I don't disagree with that, but it's just
They're
the
in fifth place.
the two players that are indoor, like they're playing good. They're playing well.
Hey, Paris, did you mean didn't deserve it or did? Because he said, if you put it back up, he says Murray and Sabonis over KD and Harden. He could have meant didn't, like they didn't deserve it. Like those two players didn't deserve it.
Oh.
Murray and Sabonis should have got their spots over them. At least that's what it reads to me.
Right.
Oh, could be.
The Lakers were in fifth place, though. I mean,
and it's the Lakers. I mean, they're going to get the benefit of the
Yeah.
And
And think about which Lakers it is. I mean, are you really going to say LeBron James isn't an all-star?
Yeah.
I don't think any Western
Anthony
Conference
Davis
coach wants to light a fire under him by not inviting him.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, it's not like they don't deserve to be. It's like they don't deserve it. Like it's
Davis is, he's an ambulance man, but he can put up numbers like crazy when he's on the court.
And he's been relatively healthy until this over the past 2 seasons, until this abdominal injury. And the Lakers are just half a game. Like I'm saying, they're in fifth place. Denver's in fourth. Denver only got 1, but the Lakers are just half a game behind Denver. For those coaches who take into account winning, just half a game.
Yeah, and I was wrong. Paris put in the chat. He said Harden did deserve it. He was right.
Right. And the Clippers are just 1 game behind Denver. So between Denver, Lakers, and Clippers, yeah,
they're all right there.
That whole West is super competitive.
Yes, and shout out to Anthony Edwards, man. Somebody in the chat said Ant didn't make it. I was like, what?
No, Ant did make it.
He did.
Shout out to JJ said Norman Powell got snubbed in the West. He is playing well though. I don't know who do you take out? Yeah, who you replace him with? Who do you replace with him?
Yeah.
All over Harden. Why not?
Yeah.
No. They was not going to pick him over his own teammate.
I know.
No
DX,
a man can dream, Jerrell. Man can dream.
DX Relish says Sabonis over Jaren Jackson. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Sabonis over Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, Memphis is in 3rd place in the West.
Yeah.
If you're taking into account winning. Maybe if you're not taking into account winning, maybe. But Jaren Jackson is having one of his best seasons as well. But I bet you those rebounds ain't over 6. Let me check.
So is Sabonis though.
And plus, we just smacked them, so our fans don't really think highly of Jaren Jackson right now.
Yeah. He's averaging 22.8 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.4 steals, 1.6 blocks. And his efficiency, 49.9% from the field, 35.5% from 3. For a big man, that's respectable. 78.2% from the line. So Bonus is averaging a 20 points, 15 rebounds.
Yeah, he's killing. I know he's the leader. He's the leader in rebounding right now, I think.
Yeah, all right. He's the last one. Then we're gonna move on. All right. 20.9 points, 14.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists. My goodness. Shooting 61% from the field. He must be right under the basket. 61% from the field. What? Is this right? Is this the right person? Hold on. Yeah. He's shooting 48% from 3.
I said, you reading his dad's stats from back in the day? That's our business.
He's shooting 48% from 3. He only takes 2.4
threes. Still, that's smoking.
Yeah.
2.4. I mean, that's wow.
Gotta up those attempts there, Dom.
He deserves to be on there, man. He deserves. David L. Bias is Sabonis for AD since he hurt.
Probably.
Right. He might be ready though.
They'll probably put him in there. Pash Douglas says KD don't deserve it. Like, he's a starter too. KD, right?
Yeah. Well, where's the All-Star game?
Golden State, San Francisco.
Oh, KD making that. I mean, AD gonna play in that game then.
Yeah.
If it was somewhere like Cleveland, he probably would have sat that out.
Yeah, KD don't.
Right. He's shooting 48. I can't get over that. 48% from 3, but again, only taking 2.4 a game. Like Sabonis is balling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sabonis should be in over James Harden.
Harden is balling too, though.
According to Shaquan. East Blue Drew says Trey is not an all-star. I don't disagree with that.
Oh, y'all hating on Trey.
Hey. coming over here and do,
you'll get
all in rolling the dice nonsense, man. You don't need all-star, man.
I guess he hit snake eyes on that dice roll.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa. I mean, talking about being penalized for efficiency, that's not something that happened with Harden. I mean, his counting stats are good. 21.7 points a game, 8.4 assists per game, basically 6 rebounds a game.
He's not shooting well, though, probably.
39.9% from the field. Like, is that real?
Is that real?
39.9% from the field, 35.2% from 3.
Yeah, he got in there because he's James Harden stuff.
And 88.8% from the free throw. Like, what? I think the West coaches just have different criteria than the East.
I mean, it's James Harden. And, like, Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis, they're going to make the All-Star team.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not mad. There's nobody on the team where I could say this player should not be here. Siakam, they're on a roll right now, and I think they're 8-2 over their last 10. Indiana, they have the best record, at least in the East, maybe even in the league for January.
Do they?
And they're now in 5th place, 1/2 game behind Milwaukee. Wow. All right, Ajay, this is your little horse is coming up from the back.
They're 5 games behind the Knicks, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
AJ funny, man.
Oh, he's in. Okay, cool.
Boogie's in.
All right.
Say Boog.
We didn't forget about you, boss.
Yo, what up, bro?
She left me in timeout, man. I listened to a whole segment and a half. Yeah, so I thought in a few minutes she gonna get like the commissioner and start taking minutes away so she can put more commercials so we can watch the podcast.
How you been?
I'm great. Aggie called me out. You called me out, man. I was in my notepad and everything, man. You called me out like that. I'm like, I gotta come up here calling me out, man. So let me get up here, man. Well, shout out to the family, man. What's going on, Uncle Rel? What's going on to the captain, man? Aggie, what's up, the pilot director? What's going on, Queen? Shout out to the chat.
I hope you're in good spirits now. I don't know if it was 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, last month, man. Really down on the Knicks. How you feeling now?
Man, I mean,
he's still talking about that trade though, Queen. He's still saying the Knicks are gonna pull the trigger on one.
Yeah, they're gonna make a trade. You're gonna hear a trade somewhere. You're gonna hear a trade real soon.
Wow.
So a trade is coming. The bombshell is coming.
We got a week.
You got a week. Leon he's in his negotiation gear. No tie on, top shirt button is unbuttoned. Plain, white beat up under the dress shirt. He's in his trade mode right now. But the guys had to get right. Yeah, they know what time it is. Start taking some things away from them, man. Shoot. Investing too much into them guys. Yeah, they need to get right for Boogie to continue on doing what he be doing. But man, the squad right now, they don't turn it around real quick in a hurry up, man. I mean, I'm real happy where the squad is at right now. I mean, they're really on an all-star movement. Anytime you get two fellas, to be starters, not reserves, not subs, starters. That's elevates their game and their leadership. And when their game and their leadership elevates, you got the rest of the team that feel like yeah, we got some all-star starters. We need to elevate our game too, and go along with them. You know what I'm saying? So. And even Tom is elevating. You see him. He's using more of the bench. That's why we on this run right now where we at. So everybody's elevating and willing to sacrifice whatever it is that they feel is personal for themselves as a member of the Knicks to benefit the team as a whole. So I love where we at right now. We don't got 3 major wins back to back to back with some West Coast teams, scored over 400 points in 3 games. So, 286 points in 2 games, 143. Excuse me, my phone going crazy. Yeah, 143 points in 2 games back to back. I'm real happy where the squad is at, and I do know for a fact they're not finished. And continue on playing this good play, continue on rocking, continue on what we're doing. I want to really smash the Lakers. I want to punish them because, we don't want injuries amongst anybody. But the thing is, I remember last time when we was injured, LeBron was trying to show out in the Garden. If people remember, he was trying to show out, flex and everything on us, and we was hurt and beat up. So now I want to return the favor and flex on him, this week. Matter of fact, I want this whole 5-peat sweep. I want to dustpan all 5 of these games. And the only 2 that we got left right now is the Lakers and then Boston. And that's going to tune us up and get us ready, to straighten our face against Boston. But I love where we at right now. I mean, everybody's gelling, everybody's rocking, everybody's happy, everybody's playing for one another. Hey, this is a good time for things to be going in the right direction, but we're going to still stay tuned.
For sure. Do you think they would have made a trade anyway? Or seeing how this team is gelling, they feel more of an urgency now that, hey, this year might be the year. Let's get them some more reinforcements. Or you think this would have happened anyway?
That's been the plan the whole season with all the trades. And their mind frame, they thinking this year.
Okay.
That's where they at. They're thinking like really this year. Why not? Why we can't do it this year? So they know and understand what needs to be done. And the Mitch situation is up in the air. If Mitch comes back, if Mitch comes back and he provides us any type of protection on that back rim and stays healthy, it's a problem. It's really a problem, as far as like everybody, like in the East. That's where I'm looking at right now. Cleveland is Cleveland, okay? But I don't think Cleveland can beat us in a series. That's just where I'm at.
That's where I'm at too.
I just want the fight is going to be with Boston. And I don't want to see them into the Eastern Conference Final, but it doesn't look like, that Cleveland is going to pretty much try to let up off that space. They scared to death to get a 2 seed. They scared because they know the 2 and the 3 are going to have to wind up playing one another. And that's what Cleveland is. That's not what they want to do. But I love where we at. But I just know that they're going to make a move. We need like 2 more things. Something else on the bench, and another. If Mitch can't do it, we need something else that's going to guarantee. Because you see how they was getting to the rim and everything on us last night. Easy layups. You know, they was killing us in the paint. And if we got guys that's really pressuring up on the perimeter, and if they slightly get beat, you know, it's a free zone. And Denver is not even built like that far as, you know, going to the basket. But if they can do it, of course, you can imagine what these young thoroughbreds will continue on doing.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to shout out those that are watching on X. You don't know my condition. I'm about to tell you. It says up here, you know, how many are watching, and if you hover over it, it breaks it up between YouTube and X. And I just saw that, so I know those on X been rocking with us for a long time, basically since I've been premium. So I appreciate you guys watching.
And those of you watching on YouTube, man, hit the like button, please.
Yes, exactly. We got 120 on YouTube, and I don't know how many likes we have. So
55 only.
55. Let's try to get it. Let's try to get it to 90. Let's try to get it to 90.
Get to 100. Nice.
All right, let's try to get
nice
it
even 100.
All right, let's just try to get it to 100.
Why stop at 90?
Yeah, get even with the board. If it say 120, it should be 120 likes.
There you go. That's
point blank.
Right. If you're hanging around, then you appreciate the content, right?
You must like it.
Right. Thumbs down work too. I mean, as long as there's engagement, thumbs down works for the algorithm. All right, let's get into trades. I think the first question before we get into particulars, should we trade Mitch? We kind of talked about that. Precious was the other name that came up. I'm just going to start off quick and get out the way. I would keep Precious. I like what he's doing. I like his switchability on defense.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Now
I didn't hear you.
I said I would keep Precious.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
He would be averaging about 10, 12 points right now if he could ever convert around the rim. But that's another story.
Yeah.
And as far as trading Mitch, I think it depends on if they're able to get a really good rotational player. I'm not just trading Mitch to trade Mitch. If you're going to get somebody that's going to get in this rotation, is going to really help us, whether that's scoring off the bench, whether that's if you're a big playing with Towns and behind Towns, I'm all for it. But just trading Mitch for somebody that Tom Thibodeau is not going to even play, then no, that's not something that I would do. But I get the Knicks maybe wanting to cut their losses in terms of whether he can get healthy and stay healthy. You know, so I wouldn't be mad at them if they did move him. Geoff, we'll start with you.
Yeah, there's not a ton out there. I think that you know, the only Pat that I really respect is Pat Ewing, but I think in this case we may have to stand Pat.
Yeah. I'm team stand Pat too. Ajay, team trade, team stand Pat.
It depends on the trade. I like, you know, there's certain, as mentioned earlier during the show and probably on previous shows, there's a couple of things I'd like to see. I'd like to see us get either a scorer off the bench or a good defensive player off the bench. But if we don't make a trade if that player doesn't become available and we don't make a trade, I'm perfectly comfortable with that. I mean, we're playing well right now, so I have no problem staying where we are.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this is colored by this last 5 games where we're really getting to see the Knicks approaching their ceiling. If they drop off these next few games, we're probably going to be right back here talking about the help that they need. But anyway, Jerrell, team stand Pat, team trade.
I'm about to say, can I be team? I don't want to answer this question.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm really on the fence, man. I think it really just depends on what the upgrade is, because I don't want to just say trade. I want to think of it as an upgrade if we're going to do it. So obviously, I don't want to just give away Mitch just to give away Mitch. Like I need to see who's coming back. So I don't know. I'm really on the fence. If we don't make a trade, I'm cool. If we make a trade and it upgrades this roster and is better for the future, I'm all for it.
All right. Would you consider trading Precious, or you feel like from what you've seen,
I would consider trading anybody if it makes this roster upgradable. I don't care who it is, to be honest. If who we're getting back is better than who we giving up.
Okay. All right. Boogie, your thoughts? Do you feel the same way? It depends on who we getting back, or from the rip you open to trade in Mitch or Precious?
I'm definitely looking at that phone to see if it's ringing. I'm taking phone calls, and I might snoop around and make a couple of phone calls, but it's got to be right, and it got to fit. It got to benefit the team. It can't just be a trade just to make a trade. You know, like you just said.
Right.
If it's going to help and benefit the team right now, then hey, Leon Rose, he's a sharpshooter. He's an 8-ball pool pocket player. Right there. And so, as long as it benefit the team, then I'm all for it. If it's not benefiting the team, then we're gonna pray that he can finish the season.
Right. Prayer circle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go over some names. Let's start with Boucher first. We've talked about Valanciunas and other shows, and we'll get to him. But let's start with Boucher. I hope I'm saying that. Boucher, right? Boucher.
Boucher.
Mm-hmm. Boucher. All right. From the Toronto Raptors, about 6'9", really thin, long wingspan, good shot blocker, can hit the three. I think he's averaging 10.7 points, 4.4 rebounds, and just 17.5 minutes per night. They have him listed on Basketball Reference as power forward / center. I've seen other places where he's also listed small forward, power forward, and center. If we're looking to play him at center, it's just a no-go for me. I just don't think he has the girth to really play. Not even girth, like even a skinny center. I don't really see him like that. And I agree with JJ in the chat, who said he's not sure if he can play the three. He hasn't seen enough of him. I haven't seen enough of him as well to see if he could play the three. But if he could play 3-4, I would be with it. Jerrell, we'll start with you this time around. And then Geoff.
I think he's my favorite out of all the rumors. For the people that's linked to us so far, just because I think he fits our team better. I think he can play the wing. His shooting splits look nice. He's shooting 37% from the three, 50% from the field. He's long. He can block shots. He can rebound for his size. Mm-hmm. I think he's actually a perfect fit for the type of roster that we have. So I like him better than most of the targets. We're going to talk about the other targets, but I like Chris Boucher. It just depends on, if Mitch makes a little bit more money than him. So I don't know how we get him. Like we have to be creative on how we make this happen.
Right. Well, if Mitch makes more money, that's not a problem. Because as long as we have more money going out, we're good.
So we're good.
Have to have more money going out, so it actually works perfectly under the salary cap, and it may let you bring in TJ Warren as well, if you hit with a little bit of savings there. So that's something to keep in mind also.
Your thoughts, Geoff?
Number one ability is availability. I hate to trade Mitch, but you're trying to vie for a title. You need somebody who's going to come in and give you productive minutes. And I just think he's the type of player that Tibbs would actually play. I think that you would also get the advantage. I think he's played with OG before and Precious, so those three would probably have some instant chemistry. So it would maybe take a little less time for him to acclimate as opposed to, you know, some other players. So I think there's an advantage from that standpoint. You know, I think Mitch, you know, in a vacuum, Mitch probably the best player in that trade, but you know, from a realistic standpoint, I think that Boucher may help us more. Although somebody in the comments section earlier tonight said that the only Boucher they want is Bobby Boucher from Waterboy. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. Ajay and then Boogie.
Wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Boucher, just your thoughts on him, if you think he would fit with the Knicks or not really.
And so that would be Boucher and we'd lose Mitch, I guess, or
I think that would be the only way we could
we
make
could
it
probably
work.
get him right with the money. I mean, just the fact that he's available would help. He's not. Listen, he's not a great He's not a great defensive player though. He's not terrible, but he's not great. And I think the fact that he's not great, I think it depends on like what position you have him guarding. Because on any given night, because you can switch him, you can put him on different. You know, if you have him against big centers, like
he's not a center though. They have him. I don't see us playing him at center.
But
if we play him at center, it's man.
Like when sometimes they have him play the 5 though. Not that he's a 5. They do have him at that center spot. But yeah, he's not. He can score. You know, he can score. So he would definitely help coming off the bench. So I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I would have a hard time if we brought him in to play center though. Boogie, your thoughts on Boucher?
No, Tibbs wouldn't, and not to cut you off. Tibbs, if Precious is still here, Tibbs would rather play Precious at center than put Chris Boucher at center.
Right. Shout out to State. Appreciate you dropping by.
What up, State? You know the lingo. You know what to go do to yourself. Can't go say it on the YouTube. I'm not trading Mitch for that dude. I don't know if the contracts, because I don't know what he's making, and I don't know. But if I can somehow, some way send Sims over there for him, I'm rocking with something like that.
He's making $11.75 million, but
so Sims wouldn't work.
Okay, so what is Sim making?
Like 2.
Okay. Yeah, but I can't swap him. That's not gonna move the needle for me far as if Mitch is gone and I gotta still somehow, some way depend on somebody being in that paint in playoff time. I'm not talking about regular season. Playoff time is a different level of basketball. You're gonna have to, get physical. Now he has a whole lot of heart. He's not a scared ball player. He will mix it up and everything. But just for me to swap Mitch just for him, nah, I'm not even doing. I'm not making that type move. That's just me. I understand he got history with OG. He got history with Precious, but it doesn't move the needle for me. Far as him coming in there and helping out with center. I'm still lost at center.
I wouldn't consider him a center. I'm
Right.
seeing him more at the 3-4, so he would be coming in for Hart, Bridges, OG, like that.
I get that totally, but if Mitch is involved, then I'm dealing with what centers am I dealing with behind?
We're gonna have to go with who we're going with now, which is Precious. Because the thing with Mitch though, Bugs, we rolling the dice.
Mm-hmm.
We rolling the dice with Mitch. He might come back and be healthy and stay healthy and be able to help us. He might not. He might come back and be healthy. So as an organization, they have to think So we're going to stand pat and roll the dice that he's going to stay healthy, or are we going to get us some help? So I'm not sure what they're going to do. But if they do make this trade, then it's going to really be Precious that's going to continue in the role that he's in for the rest of the season. Yeah. So we shall see. I was kind of surprised to see his name though, but we shall see. Anything else on him before we move to? Okay. So the others that's come up in rumors, who knows, where this is coming from. And you can talk about them together at center. This is Valanciunas and Nurkic. I'm just going to say it real quick and get out the way. I don't want a non-defensive center. I feel like we have that. But I kind of get it in that second unit if you're surrounding that scoring center with Deuce and Precious and Campaign, and you bring in one starter off the starting, to play with that unit. Maybe they could cover him and it won't be so bad. I'm good. I'm good without trading for either one of them. But if they do, all right, fine. Geoff, we'll start with you, then Ajay, Boogie, Jerrell.
Yeah, Valanciunas defense scares me. I just, that's a non-starter for me. I don't even know if Tibbs would play him. Like, honestly, I think he might for a little bit. Like, it, I don't know. I guess if that move is made, that means he's on board. But I'm real cautious about Jonas because I don't think he's playable in the playoffs. I think he's a guy that, you might get some regular season minutes out of him, but if he's on the court in the playoffs, they're just going to target him like crazy and just, punish you for whatever minutes that he's on the floor and whatever, as well as anybody in the playoffs, 1 or 2 minutes of bad stretch can be the difference between winning and losing a game. So I don't trust Valanciunas at all. And if he's not a guy that we can come in and be comfortable playing in, in crunch time or in the playoffs, even if it's 4 minutes in the first half, then I don't really want any part of him. I would rather give those minutes to Achua because that's the devil we know. We know how he fits in, and we know he has switchability defensively. He's not near the scorer that Valanciunas is. He's not as good a rebounder either, probably. But I just don't think that adds anything to the current roster for a playoff push. And I kind of feel like I haven't really considered Nurkic because till they got Nick Richards, I kind of felt like he's on Phoenix, right? Isn't he? Nurkic?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of felt like he was just kind of stuck in place. But I guess now that they have Richards, they might be willing to move him, I guess. But how much does Nurkic make, and would they even be interested in a Mitchell Robinson deal when they already have Nick Richards? I don't know that makes a lot of sense for either party. So if those are the names you're talking about, I'll just sit and wait and hold on to my cards for a little bit longer till the off season.
All right. Jerrell, then Boogie, then Ajay.
Man, I don't want none of them dudes, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's part of the reason why I'm on the fence with the whole staying pat or make a trade, because all the players that we're rumored to get, I don't necessarily want. Like, I like Chris Boucher. Like I said last time, I think he's a perfect fit for the squad. But if we don't get him, I'm not crying. I don't think we necessarily, quote unquote, need any one of these dudes compared to the talent that we already have. Mm-hmm. Like these. Like, they don't move the needle enough for me to be like, yes, we need them. Yeah. But if we got one, I wouldn't be upset either. But they don't move the needle for me that much for me to have a strong opinion of getting either one of them.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Boogie,
I'm right along with Unc right there. None of these guys right here move the needle for me. It sure ain't gonna move the needle. Yeah, you don't know what Tom would do with whatever these guys is, but I'm at a loss of words for these guys that we talk about as far as these rumors here. Be honest with you. I don't see none of them as far as being on this team. I mean, whatever his name, he would be the best option. It's just that I would hate to give up a center and have centers backing up really with no experience, just in case anything else was happen, but I don't see none of them guys. I don't.
Yep. Okay. Ajay.
So Geoff started by saying that Valanciunas' defense scares him. Well, his defense don't scare me because it doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's like the boogeyman. Like there's no such thing. And like you guys said, it's like I don't want those guys. And Jerrell mentioned Chris Boucher, like somebody, yeah, if you get him, okay, because he's more available than Mitch. But that's not a trade you're not picking up the phone and bugging Masai Ujiri. Hey, can I have him? Can I have him? Can I have him? Nah, man.
Right.
If it happens, okay, whatever. Let's we run with it. But you're not actively pursuing that trade. So
yeah. I know somebody in the chat said Robert Williams. He's healthy this season. He's not playing that because they're prioritizing the young Ayton, of course, because Ayton. And then they're playing what's his name? Klingen? That's his name? How you pronounce his name?
Yeah, that's his name.
He's the best guy they got. 5 spot.
Yeah, he's nice.
And they're playing him behind it. So, like I said, I'm good if the
Queen. I got one for you though.
Yeah. Okay.
Beef stew.
Beef stew who?
Isaiah Stewart. He's an undersized center too. Is he that much better than Precious?
No.
I mean, I guess he ain't
nothing but dark skinned Sims, man. Nobody want no beef stew, man.
He's hot headed though.
That is true.
He's always getting into something.
Yeah, he might not even finish the game.
Right.
Right.
We in the playoffs. He up there punching some people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Almighty Finesse makes a good point. Yes, is what we need.
Dogs.
We need dogs. He mentioned Sexton. The reason we're not talking about Sexton because Sexton hasn't been mentioned in any connection.
Yeah, I don't think we could get Colin Sexton.
I don't think we could get anybody from Utah. Like when are we gonna learn that this dude ain't trading with us?
I'm good with guard play. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Just give me 3, 4, 5, somewhere around there. And don't give me another 6'4", 6'5" guy to try to fit in and play the wing. Give me somebody with some length, some height, athleticism.
Right.
Shout out to my uncle Brutus. He brought and mentioned up the name that boy Watson over there at Denver. That'll be a hell of a fight fit.
Oh my god.
Hell of a fight fit.
Yeah, see.
Denver ain't giving up.
Yeah, I don't even. I try not to even think of stuff like that.
I know that was
Panera for Portland. We not getting up. Easton or Houston, like we not getting that. Everybody wants a
them dudes nice, man. They
3-and-D defensive player, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I ain't putting nothing by Leon.
That is true.
I'm not putting nothing by Leon.
If we said we want to go get OG, we said we wasn't going to get Bridges.
Yeah.
Half of y'all didn't want that.
He's so cool with them in Toronto. They just rumor spreading everything on their roster with us now.
Right. And then you know what I also saw? I saw an article on Portal. I don't know why Toronto would like to get rid of Portal, but I would trade for Portal
You
if
like
he
him?
was available. He's
You
a
like him?
legit center, legit.
True.
Queen, you want to go over a couple of comments?
Yeah,
And
let's do it.
I gotta get out of here. Shout out to Almighty Finesse, trade for Sexton. We talked about that. And Jay Boogie says he's good with guards play. He don't want another guard up in here. We're good in the backcourt. How much is Colin Sexton making? Anybody? He's got to be up there in salary. He's got to be making some money.
17-3.
So that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
If it's going to be for Mitch, it has to be somebody 15 and under.
Yeah,
you'd have to combine Mitch and either Mitch and
Deuce and Jericho.
Mitch and Deuce would probably get you close, or Mitch and Precious, and that depletes all of our depth
front
at
court.
the 5. So
Yeah,
that's a non-starter.
Yeah. All right, so Zansky Gaming said trade Mitch and wash picks for Valanciunas. I'm not doing that. I'm not trading anything for Valanciunas.
Not anything. Huh?
Nah. Sims, but the money won't work.
Right. The only thing I will say is he's not a defensive player, but if you surround him with enough defense in that second unit doesn't really have. Well, Cam could create his own shot. Yeah.
I think his defense would be right. How many minutes is he going to be playing anyway? Like, I think his defense, don't get me wrong, he does not play defense, but I wouldn't just not, like, if we did trade for him, I wouldn't be pissed because we got him because of no defense.
I wouldn't trade for him.
He's almost like he's just a non-needle mover for me.
Right.
Like, I don't see us getting that much better with him, but I don't think we'll be that much worse with him either.
Feels like Evan Fournier at the 5 to me.
Damn, Jeff. That's definitely not what I think. That's bad. Then no. Then the answer is definitely no. That's not going to work.
Almighty Finesse says Sims, Precious, Mitch for Sexton.
No,
Terrible. Like deplete our front court for another guard.
He's a different type of guard now. I mean, there's a difference between a guard who can play, gets his off of somebody else, and somebody who can get it. Sexton can get it, but I agree. I would not trade 3 players for Sexton.
And then whose minutes is he taking too? Because that means, you're either, he's got to be taking some backcourt minutes from somebody. Is that Deuce?
Deuce, yeah.
Or
you would go with Sexton and Deuce and maybe campaign with Sexton would be the main player. He would be your 6th guy. He would be your 6th man.
And he will have the green light too.
Yeah.
At least he should.
Yeah. He's better than anybody we have in that second unit.
JJ, I'm not sure if Boucher can defend the small forward, though. I haven't seen enough of him. What else? Shaquan said you trade Precious for that guy? Talking about Valanciunas. You wild. Precious is way better. He's a way better defender than that dude.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Not because it's Precious, because it's true.
Because it's Precious.
No, because it's true. He is a better defender than that guy.
What about the rest of basketball though?
Valanciunas is a better scorer though.
Oh, okay.
He is. I wish we had signed Precious to a longer contract. Nick, the Rockets, it was supposed to be. Oh, well, they were all over the place. So I'm just Rockets and Thunder was supposed to be to still be in rebuild mode, and look at where they are at. Scary. Now listen. So the Thunder, OKC is very scary. Like, I'm talking about like not just like they're gonna be scary for a very long time because they're like one of the second. They have the second best record in the league right now, and they have a ton of. I mean, they could have lottery picks coming up. They have all.
I think they have Atlanta's first round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
They have all
Spurs have Atlanta's first round pick.
Just the Spurs, okay.
But they have three. I think they have the Thunder do have like 3 first rounders this year, but just not the Hawks.
I mean, they're gonna have to start trading some of these good guys. So we need to get ready when OKC is starting to get rid. They have to get rid. They have too many players and too many.
Think about it though. That's stockpiling for superstar trade. Like they have assets for days to make. You know what I mean? If you're talking about bringing in a Giannis or
Jeff,
that Kevin Durant return or something like that.
That's what they were doing, and then they developed their own superstars, and
Yeah, I'm just talking about adding to what they already have if they feel like they want one more guy. And if I'm looking at their roster, I kind of feel like they do need one more guy. Like I just feel like SGA is great, but none of those other guys really seem like tier 1 players to me. And maybe that's enough, but I just don't think it is. And I think the playoffs last year, the Mavs kind of exposed them, although that's, a bad matchup for them for whatever reason.
Parrish Duggar agrees that Robert Williams is worth a shot.
It's going to be in his own foot, knowing Robert Williams, and they'll be calling the ambulance. But, I guess that's okay.
Shout out to WizBKLA. Thanks for that $1.99 super chat. Is Boucher a rental at age 32, 33% from 3, and expiring contract?
He don't shoot 33% from 3. He shoots 37. I'm looking at it right now. He shot 33% from 3 last year. He shoots 37 now. This year so far.
I mean, it's a fair point. If you're going to trade Mitch for somebody that's you might not re-sign, that is something to think about. I mean, the Knicks, I trust that front office. Like they know what they're doing. If they make that trade, I'm pretty sure they're going to re-sign him.
But remember, we were just talking about Mitch being on an expiring contract next year anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's either going to trade him now for something, or trade him in off season for something.
That's yeah.
Mez wants DeAndre Hunter.
Maybe Atlanta starts selling now that Jalen Johnson is hurt, but oh boy, you could get DeAndre Hunter.
Well, how much he make? Let me see.
That would be like ideal.
Yeah, that would really work though.
See, I try not to even think about stuff like that.
Like DeAndre Hunter, Cam Johnson. From Brooklyn, ideal guys in terms of size and shot and defense, but yeah, I don't see it.
Oh, DeAndre Hunter is making annual salary of 22.5.
Oh yeah,
that's an over.
This season he's making 21.7, pretty much. So nah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of other ones all over the place, like because they were talking about all kind of stuff in the chat. Parrish Duggar says Bridges has completely replaced DiVincenzo now. I don't know that was the intent because they play different roles. But yeah, Bridges fits, like it's working now. Chemistry is building and it's becoming a better.
And he's just a better player than DiVincenzo.
Yeah, he's a better player.
Yes, he is.
What else we got? Again, Parrish Duggar. Shout out to Parrish Duggar. After the Boston game, I need Cat to get that hand fixed. I agree. You know what?
I actually thought about that too.
I agree with that. And matter of fact, that All-Star game, I think he should sit it out. Like, listen, you already been, named as an All-Star starter. That's good.
If surgery means he misses the playoffs, you still agree with that?
I mean,
No.
what's the extent of the injury? Like people want
Does
to
he-
get
I
it
don't-
fixed. If it's a fracture, how you get it fixed is just taping it on a finger. You tape it to your other hand and you let it get fixed.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean, I don't understand when people want him to have surgery. Is it that bad that he needs surgery?
well,
My understanding is a bone chip.
what
And
finger?
so it's just loose and floating in there. Is my
What
understanding.
what finger is it? Because if it's the
thumb.
thumb, you
It's
can't
the shooting hand.
you can't pair it. How you can't tape it to another one if it's the thumb.
Right. But what I'm saying is, when you look up bone chips, it depends on the severity of it.
I think they said
That's
it's
what we
going
don't know.
it's going to hinder him for the rest of the season.
Okay. All right. But if it doesn't need surgery, listen, a 75% cat is better than a 0% cat. If he's out for 20 games, the Knicks could be in the play-in by the time he comes back. Like, that's how important he is to the team. Now, if it's something that the more he plays on it, it's going to get worse, and it's like that's different. That's different.
I think he's just like right now he's just getting used to. Okay, I got to deal with it. I think he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with that. He got to play with it. When he first came back from it, he was real tentative about it. You could see it in his game. As far as him squeezing the rock and everything, he probably couldn't really do that at first. But I think he's starting to get comfortable with playing with the injury as it is right now, and they're not gonna do no surgery or anything for that.
Oh, that would be
Shout out
terrible.
to
That
DJ
was
Shuttle
tough.
in the house.
Yeah.
They did mention he would look at surgery in the off season.
In
Right.
the off season. Okay, so Kevin Bergen says there's no team in the East that's head and shoulders better than us. None. I don't disagree with that. I think we could go toe to toe with the Boston or Cleveland in the playoffs.
Well, that's what he's saying, right?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
disagree with that at all. That's what I'm saying. I don't
Oh, I thought
disagree.
you said you disagree.
Oh no, I do not disagree.
Okay.
I'm on board with that.
Okay.
Shout out to Manny A. Welcome. This is the first time.
Salute.
I just came to your podcast. I've been a diehard Knicks fan since 1969. Why all the urgency to trade Mitch? I love the Knicks, but realistically, we're not winning an NBA title this year. Listen, welcome and all that good stuff, but I don't want to hear we're not winning NBA title this year. You never know. We have a good enough team to get you never know. I think we're capable.
The way they've shown themselves over the past 5 games. Like, I would have been more like, yeah, you might be right 8 games ago. You know what I mean? But it's looking better, I would say.
It's looking better. You can't say, listen, we're not going to say we're winning or we're, but we it's not like we don't have a chance. Like, to say we're not winning an NBA title this year, I don't,
But I guess, but he's saying realistically, meaning anything is possible. But he's saying realistically, what are the next chances? I guess
Nah, that's not what it says. It says we're not winning.
It's
not like we're probably not winning, or I don't think we're gonna win. We're not winning.
No. All right.
Them guys feel like they got the same chance as anybody else in the league to win it all. You trust them guys feel like they can win the championship. And that's how you're supposed to feel. You don't supposed to feel like, man, we can't do it, or we ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? You already downgrading your own self. Them guys come in there every day trying to figure out how to make it better, get better as far as making a championship run. That's the only thing on their mind is championship. Them guys want a championship.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The Joker thinks we're a top 5 contender.
Say that again?
The Joker thinks we're a top 5 contender. He said so in the post-game interview.
He did.
Right. Why all the urgency? I don't know if it's an urgency. I think it's some of us feel that the Knicks may have another need or two in the bench, and who can get us that player? Like, I don't think we talked about this earlier. I don't think the Knicks are re-signing Mitchell Robinson. He's going to be on an expiring contract next season. If they don't move him at this trade deadline, I would be shocked if Mitch isn't moved over the summer, unless he commits to a very team-friendly contract. I just don't see them offering him $14, $15, $16 million a year. So if you're not going to trade a guy, then you listen to offers and see if it's going to help your team.
Right. All right. And Queen panel, with that, I got to get out of here.
GHU, we about to do our last words anyway. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and thanks to the chat, man, for rocking with us. Please hit the like button, please. Only right now, I'm looking at 81. Let me do a quick refresh of the chat here. Still 81 out of 100 and how many? 123.
123.
Let's get that up to 100, man. All right.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Ajay.
All right, Ajay.
Oh, and Ajay, wait, hold on, Ajay. Hold on. I'm going to be out the next 2 weeks. And so Ajay is going to be holding it down. I asked if he needed help, like if he'd do 1 week. Nobody. He said, "No, I got you. So this is his time to shine. Like he's going to shine. You notice he come in late because he want to shine. So next 2 weeks, he is going to be hosting the show while I'm in Ghana having a good time. I'm gonna try to call in. I might call in. I might do it.
She ain't calling in. It'd be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when we call her when we're doing this show. You're not calling in.
I'm in the
when you leaving?
I'm leaving on Wednesday. So when I land in Ghana, that's going to be the day of the trade deadline. So I'm gonna have my ear to the ground, my ear on the phone listening.
Guys,
Jerrell, she gonna call in and Ajay gonna hang up on her.
I'm just not gonna pick up.
We get that major trade while you're in the air, girl. You better go live.
You're right, because they don't have to wait to the deadline. It can happen anytime.
And we typically don't wait to the deadline as a front office. We usually make our deals a little earlier.
So Jerrell, Geoff, Boogie, like get ready, man. In case a trade drops, we're gonna have emergency podcast.
Emergency pod.
Yeah, and y'all be sure to support Ajay for those 2 weeks. He's gonna have an opportunity to talk about Thibodeau for the entire show without any pushback.
I will not talk about Thibodeau. I promise.
This should be fun.
It's fine. Somebody in the comments, I did the comments today about me giving you a hard time on Thibodeau. So my apologies. That's his opinion. He has his opinion. You have
yeah. The replay game.
Yeah. So you're right. Yeah. Ajay, you have your opinion. I
give that comment a like. By the way, I'm one of those like stickers.
I told you every time I miss a show, y'all get to fight. I'm not missing no more shows. No time soon.
All right. Good night, guys. Good night.
All right.
All right. One more comment for a new one, and then we're gonna do our last words and we out of here. Oh, you can. Okay. Mark Porter, appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. I've been a Knicks fan since 1969. Also, I remember Reed, Frazier, the Busher. This is the only reason I feel having Mitchell back maybe just enough to get us into the finals. Okay. All right. I mean, that's fair. I like having that rotational versatility. To be able to deploy different lineups, given the situation. So I'm not mad if the Knicks don't trade Mitchell Robinson. I would be very interested in his role, though, if he returned. Anything else? And anything else on the trades? And if not, any last words?
Nah, I don't think I have anything. I mean, we pretty much talked about everybody that was supposed to be rumored to us, right? Yes, I think we good, man. Salute to everybody. Boog, thanks for joining us. Jeff, you already know what it is. Steph, the queen, enjoy your vacation, and salute to the chat, man. We out.
Definitely.
To it.
Yeah.
Anybody else, Jeff, Boogie?
Salute to DJ Shuttle in the chat, man. You should have been up here too. We need an all aboard moment. I've been missing you, bro.
I saw him live doing his thing.
Boogie, thanks a lot for taking the time, bro. We love you over here. You're part of the family and always a great ad. Yeah. Always a great ad. So thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you.
Had you in timeout and everything. Had you in timeout and everything.
Yeah, I tried to join the show the other day. Send me a bootleg, stream. I was
late, yeah.
No, that was the one you got right now is the forever link.
Did the other one I had the other day? Oh, now you won't even coming back there.
But I put it in the when you said it, I put it in the chat.
Girl, I started catching snores by that time.
Yeah, I put it in the chat for you to join. Thank you, Dripmore. I'm definitely gonna have a good time. That's my spot. It's my third time going in 5 years.
That's what's up.
Be safe.
Yeah, no, for sure. Jerrell, I appreciate you. Jeff, J Boogie. Oh, wait, we're gonna go out on J Boogie's song. I did load it up.
Okay. Yeah, real quick. I don't know the address right now, but I don't know it right now. But if you can link up with the guys on Twitter Space, I know Tony. He's having we're having a big watch party next week for the Boston game in New York, and it's going to be real big, and that will be the first time that I myself will be performing live, at that event, and so. It's going to be a real big event for that Boston game, and shout out to the guy, Tony, man. Tony's an amazing guy. Shout out to all them guys on the Twitter Space, you know what I'm saying, doing what they do, hosting shows and events. State, King D's, Billy, Uncle Brutus, and even Ebony, Tony, and somebody else I'm missing. I can't think of his name, but shout out to them guys over there in the Twitter Space. Lloyd Banks is always in the Twitter rocking with us and everything, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Twitter Spaces and as well as the YouTube channels, Right now it's a great time to be a Knick fan. A great time. We got a great team right now, and they're looking to do bigger and better things for the city of New York and the fan base. They really hunger. They really got a hunger for, to finish out this season strong. And in the words of State said it's championship or bust. And that's how them guys probably carry it every day, on this team. They feel like it's championship or bust probably amongst themselves. And that's how you should feel like. I feel like we can beat y'all, and it shows. It's just that all we need is to stay healthy. If we get there and we healthy, I like our chances against anybody. That's a dominant scoring 5 for you to beat 4 out of 7 times. So some of these teams that's playing and looking good, I don't have all that confidence in them as far as in serious basketball. Right. They're day-to-day basketball team playing a different team every other night, and all that traveling doing that. But when you locking in and you seeing me 4 times, you got to beat me 4 times. I don't see that in those type teams. And honestly, I don't even see that in OKC. I don't think OKC going to get to the finals. I don't. I think somebody's going to trip them up. That's just what I feel, because that playoff series is a different animal, different game, when night in, night out. And then the playbook gets thrown out and you got man on. Can you get me a bucket? They got one guy that can do it. We know that. Right. We do know Hartenstein is a warrior. We know that. We do know that because he was here playing warrior style type basketball. But I just really like us, and then I said yesterday, it's 3 teams that the Knicks really, really want to see, and one is Cleveland because we blew a game against them. The other one is Boston because we didn't like our performance the first game of the season,
Right.
and the other one is OKC, and the only way to see them again this year would be in the finals.
Right.
Those 3 teams is on the Knicks' radar.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you, Boog. All right. We about to, what's the name of the song? You want to introduce it?
Oh, this is Nick Shotters right here. This is Nick Shotters. I try to flip it up, do something different, because, I got a lot of Jamaican people and everything, too. So, they fans, too. I don't know where my guy at, I was just thinking about him earlier today. Stafford Don. When I was doing this song, I was thinking about Stafford Don the whole time. So it's Rude Boy status.
Yeah, if anybody got any info on Stafford, man, we used to talk all the time, and then all of a sudden, it's just going to voicemail. So I hope he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, we can do the whole thing. Here we go.
Yo, spread the word. Top Shotters are back.
Big ups. This is Rude Boy status. Big up, big up. This is Rude Boy status. Tell them this is Shotters. Now tell them this is Shotters.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Check.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Check.
Jump and sound and me say sound like clown.
Check.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town.
Mate.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Come again.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Come again.
Jump and sound and me say sound like clown.
Come again.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town.
The big cat came home here from Minnesota. CP and Fan TV named me the closer. 8 years when I stepped on this YouTube. Now I'm well surrounded with fans dripped in orange blue. Excuse me the way I tangle the flow. I'm the only one with appearance from the great Rebecca Harlow. I'm the most consistent with these Knick bars. Even seen it caught at the ceiling on that Jumbotron. You damn right I'm blessed. Shout out to Miss Campbell, Tiffany, the Don, Mr. West. We all in to bring the city a championship and pull up to some L from John Stark dealership.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Check.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Check.
Jump and sound and me say sound like clown.
Check.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town.
Mate.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Come again.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Come again.
Jump and sound and me say sound like clown.
Come again.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town.
Come. I'm in the booth, I'm wearing McHale's New Jersey. The Liberty Building. Send them Nets back to New Jersey. That's not a diss intent, but this a Knick City. The woes gone, that mailbag, that's Ian Begley. This for the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten, Queens. Houston, Fizzle here so kids can have garden dreams. The world famous arena, we got the best fans. Now the best guard in the East, named the captain. Best believe we some top shotters. Done got us, playing good, Leon got us. I'm 102 games, Bernard King. The flight land with a fitted on, that's King D.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Check.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Check.
Jump and sound and me say sound like clown.
Check.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town.
Mate.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Come again.
Bad boy sound and this a bad boy sound.
Come again.
Jump and sound and me say sound like clown.
Come again.
Bad boy sound and me say him run the town.
Come.
Hey yo, Dangles. He's a real soldier for a long time, you know. You hear me? I look for some soldier. Link up.